Alright guys, thanks for coming back for another fun workout. We got a lot planned today. Like usual, it's going to be 3 different circuits that we'll kind of go over as we go along, and I'll be demonstrating and talking you through all this. First one, 3 exercises. It is something called bench climbers, or at least I call them bench climbers. A 2-point row and step-ups. Bench climber essentially is going to challenge your core, your shoulders, and your chest, probably even some in the arms. The 2-point row is, the goal behind it is to also challenge your core as while working on back and biceps. And then obviously step-ups is going to be a leg exercise. So, for the bench climbers, you want to get into a push-up position. Now, you can't stay in this position because as you walk down to the floor, you'll hit your face on the bench. So once you're here, kind of walk out a little bit so you feel extended. You're going to come down, down, up, up. And I try and alternate so I'm not one side dominant. A lot of people are one side dominant and you're going to favor one arm, and if you continually move in just a singular direction instead of using both sides, you're going to develop one arm more than the other. So be aware of that. Second is a 2-point row. What I mean by 2-point is you're only going to have 2 points of connection with the bench. Now, beginner's version, I want you to do this on the floor. I'm going to do it on the bench because I like doing it that way. I feel it challenges my core more and I'm used to it, but I'm going to show you on the floor first. So, same side knee is down as the arm that's rowing. The other leg is extended up. You want to get it in line with your back and keep that back nice and flat, and this hand is down. So opposite hand and knee. Up, just down to the floor. Up, down to the floor. This allows you to reset on every single repetition you do. Whereas on the bench, you wouldn't be able to. There's no rest period. So there's that. And then a simple step up. Again, just like the bench climber, I want you to alternate those legs. I don't want to see you stepping up on one leg, down with the other. Concentric and eccentric motions are different, and they will work your legs different. We want to keep everything as balanced as possible. So, those are the first 3 we're going to go over. Again, like usual, for general fitness, 12 to 15 repetitions, anywhere from 2 to 4 sets depending on your fitness level. So, here's how a set is going to look. Now, I say 12 to 15 repetitions. There are some exceptions. When you're doing something like this or the step-ups, it may be that you do 12 repetitions total, so only 6 each leg. It's whatever you can handle. I don't know many people that could do 12 each arm on this one. Maybe start at 6 each, work your way up to 10 or 12, just whatever you can do. But notice I'm keeping my core tight so my back stays flat, and I'm alternating legs. There's that. 2-point row. Like I said, I like to do it on the bench. Keep your core nice and rigid. Keep that flow going. But make sure that you're not letting your arm drop. It'll throw you off balance and your lat disengages. Alright? Now you should be able to do at least 12 each on these. It's a switch, so change up your knees and arms. I will point out on something like this, because you're challenging your core, you're going to have to use a lot less weight than you would do if you were doing a different type of row. Alright? And now my step-ups. Again, depending on fitness level, this is easy for me. Most of the time I don't do this unless I'm holding on to dumbbells, which you're more than welcome to do. I'm not for the purpose of just teaching you guys, but holding dumbbells definitely makes it more challenging. Body weight, you should probably be able to do up to 12 each leg. With dumbbells, you won't. So, just listen to your body. Now, if for some reason you have knee issues, this bench might be too high. You can always find something else to step on, even if it's like going outside to some steps or something, because steps are like half this. That's fine too. In fact, if you're going to use something lower, go ahead and hold weight, so that way it's still challenging for you. But you don't necessarily have to use a tall bench like this. All right, that's the first routine. All 3 of those for anywhere from 2 to 4 sets. We'll go over the next one. All right, guys, next circuit for this routine. First exercise is called a push-pull. You're going to simultaneously be working your chest, your back, and your core. The second one is a single leg squat, but it's going to be assisted. And if you're not capable of doing a single leg, you can do both. And then the third one is going to be something called a suitcase carry. It's just an isometric form of a side bend, and you're welcome to either walk with the weight or even just stand still and hold it for time. So let's start. Push-pull. I'm going to go ahead and go through this. So 12 to 15 reps each side. So I'm simultaneously pushing and pulling. And notice my feet are nice and together. I'm not rotating. You can do that, but you're going to get more out of it in your core if you can maintain stillness. You're working your core isometrically. I can really feel it right in my obliques, my abs, my low back. There you go. Now I'm going to switch. If you do not have a cable system like this to work with, if you can use bands, you can even do them from home. You can use a RIP 60 or TRX suspension system. They don't cost very much. You can get them online or even at Walmart. Or you can buy bands and hook them to doors. There's many ways to do this type of exercise. Next one is single leg squat. By holding on to here, I can control my movement and I can keep my posture good, so that's the goal. So I just keep my other leg slightly elevated. Notice I'm keeping my back upright, I'm not leaning into it. My knee isn't coming out past my toes. I'm only using my arms to keep my posture and my balance. If you need to, you can use more arm strength so you're able to do single leg. And that's fine. As you get stronger, you can use less and less arms. That's kind of how you would progress from a two-legged squat to a single leg. Alright, so if you're going to do a two-legged, again, just nice and simple. Just barely tap with your arms. You're just using it to keep proper posture, that's all, as a guide. Suitcase carry. The side bend would be this motion. We're just holding it for time, isometrically. Now, for the sake of camera, I'm going to stay in place. I'm still feeling it, there's no different, but if you want to make it a little more challenging, you can walk heel to toe, kind of forward and backward. That way it challenges you in a movement. Otherwise, you just go for time. 30 seconds each side would be the goal. Again, I'm feeling it all through here. Low back. You're actually working the opposite side that you're holding the weight from. I'm not working my left, I'm actually working my right. Because you have to stabilize. Alright? That's the next routine. We'll be back in a second. Okay, for the third circuit in this workout, bicep, tricep, and ab. Here's a RIP 60 suspension trainer. That's what we're going to use for curls and skull crushers. Now I'm going to get on the floor and do something called a modified windshield wiper. I modify it to protect your back. Some people can do the original, but it's really a lot of torque on the low back, and I try and stay away from it. And then we'll do crunches as well. So, curls. How far down you go determines how much body weight is behind it. You may need to come almost vertical with this until you get stronger, and that's fine. Again, we're shooting for 12 to 15 reps. Aim for the ears. We're not doing a row here. We're doing biceps. So top of the head or ears. Two more. Now we're just going to turn it around. Skull crushers for tricep. Again, you may need to start pretty vertical. That's fine. Walk it down as you can to make it harder. Keep it above the head and extend out. Keep your elbows pointed forward. Keep your abs really tight, your body as rigid as possible. There, good burn. All right, core. Arms out to your side to stabilize. Bent knee, not straight leg. Keep your knees bent so there's not too much torque. I wouldn't do 12 of these necessarily unless you're talking 6 each side. I usually try and do 8 to 10 with most of my clients. Keep your hands pressed down into the floor to keep your shoulders and your back as stable as possible. All right? And let me point something out on this that I pointed out on something called a Russian twist before. Everybody's range of motion is different. If you cannot go all the way to the floor without your shoulders coming up a lot, limit your motion, all right? You're not gaining any benefit from that. So, windshield wipers, crunches. You can keep your arms crossed, or you can support your head, but don't crank up on that neck. Just barely hold your head. Keep that chin pointed up towards the ceiling. Try on crunches too. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but on most of your abs, as you exert out and crunch forward, you should be breathing out. You need to give yourself some room in your trunk, so you should be breathing out as you come up. So those 4: curls, skull crusher, windshield wiper, crunch. That's your last circuit of this workout. 2 to 4 sets. I'll see you guys next time.